Over the next 4 weeks, I'll be trying to lose as much body fat as possible. And you're probably already thinking, well, that doesn't sound very sustainable, but that is kind of the whole point. This fat loss phase is going to be difficult. My calories are going to be fairly low. I'm going to have to make quite a few sacrifices. I'll be more tired than usual. My workouts are probably going to suffer a little bit. But here's the thing, it's only for 4 weeks. It's not supposed to be sustainable, it's supposed to be effective. And once 4 weeks are done, I'll shift into a phase where I increase my calories, ease up on the restrictions. That kind of sounds like lockdown. And this is the difference that most people don't understand. Sustainable means something you can keep doing forever. And this isn't something I could keep doing forever. It's not something I want to do forever. And it's not something I expect to do forever. I know I can stick to something like this for 4 weeks. I've done it for 8 weeks before, and I could probably do it for 12 weeks, depending on the time of year and if I've got much going on socially. But yeah, sustainable means something you can keep doing forever. So this definitely isn't sustainable. Maintainable, however, means something you can finish and then maintain the results. And as long as I go about things in the right way after these 4 weeks and I don't go on some crazy binge or eat like a prick, I can maintain the fat that I've lost over these next 4 weeks. Now, this will probably piss a few people off, but I think you're making fat loss so difficult because you're trying to make it too easy. You can be so caught up in trying to make it enjoyable, balanced, sustainable, and yeah, easy, that you don't actually get anywhere. And then you keep yourself in limbo. You're frustrated because you're not losing fat, but you're still trying to squeeze in a takeaway, a meal out, and far too many drinks each week because everyone on social media is telling you to find a way to enjoy the process. But I think if for a short period of time you just accepted it is going to be difficult. If you just accepted you are going to be a bit hungrier, you are going to have to make sacrifices, you are going to have to skip a few takeaways and be a lot more organized, then you could make so much more progress than trying to be balanced all the time. Am I saying you're going to lose all the weight that you want to lose in 4 to 8 weeks? Not a chance. Am I also saying that the only way to lose body fat is to cut out everything that you enjoy and lose all will to live? No. You can still lose weight by enjoying meals out, going to social events, incorporating the foods that you enjoy, and not being too restrictive. But you've just got to understand that fat loss will be slower, and that's okay. You've just got to find the right balance for you at different points in time. There will be times that you want to push a bit harder, be a bit more restrictive to lose a bit more fat, and there will be times that you need to be a bit more balanced, but you can still lose fat at a slower rate. But what I am saying is, and what I want to get across in this video, is there is nothing wrong with going hard for a certain period of time, and you shouldn't be worried about putting all the weight back on as long as you go about things in the right way. And in this 5-part mini-series, I'll be taking you through exactly how I'm approaching this 4-week fat loss phase. Each video in this series will cover a different part of the process, from how I'm structuring my meals to what I'm doing in the gym, the daily actions that I'm focusing on, and how I'll be bringing myself out of the fat loss phase. And the reason I'm documenting it all is because I know a lot of people are in the same position, stuck, frustrated, and unsure how to build some momentum. And by following this series, you'll get a real behind the scenes look of how I approach fat loss myself. And I can tell you right now, it's not going to be the perfect 4 weeks. I'll miss workouts, I'll go over my calories, I'll probably have too many drinks at certain points. But with every mistake that I make, there will be a lesson that I can then share with you, and you can take that and apply it to your own nutrition, your own training, and your own fat loss journey. So whether you follow this series step by step, or you just take some ideas and apply it to your own journey, I'm confident it'll help. So first of all, why am I doing this 4-week fat loss phase? Ever since I've got back from my trip to Bali, I feel like I've just been going through the motions. I've still been training, I've still been eating well, I've even ran a couple of half marathons, but I've just felt a bit flat, like I've got another gear to push into. I've been through times like this before, and I've learned that when I start to feel this way, one of the best things that I can do is get some structure back and have something to focus on. Not just for the physical results, but for how it makes me feel mentally. When I've got a plan, when I've got targets to hit and something to work towards, I just feel so much better. Before I went away, I had this kind of structure, and honestly, I felt great. And this is one of the many reasons that I think fitness is such a key player in mental health. It's just about refocusing and getting some momentum back. And if you've been feeling the same, stuck, off track, a bit lost, then hopefully this series will give you the nudge that you need to do the same. So first of all, I need to set some goals, but this is where people go wrong straight away. You see, we have outcome-based goals and we have process-based goals. But people focus far too much on the outcomes and not enough on the processes. Goals such as losing weight, getting stronger, feeling fitter, running a half marathon, being more confident. These are all outcome-based goals. But the thing is, you don't hit a goal just because you set one. You hit a goal because you follow a certain set of processes, day in and day out, to achieve that goal. James Clear said it best when he wrote, "We don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems," or in this case, our processes. Think of it this way, setting a goal is like setting the end destination on Google Maps. It's important because we need to know the direction we need to go in, but the processes are the acts of actually driving the car. And you wouldn't set the end destination and then sit there with the car in neutral wondering why you're not getting closer to where you want to be. And I'd argue, if you didn't even set the end destination, if you just knew the direction you wanted to go in and you focused on the processes, on driving the car, not crashing into anyone, then you'd be so much closer to where you want to be than if you set the end destination and then sat there and did fuck all. So that brings me on to my goal setting process. My outcome-based goal is to try and lose 4 kilograms over the next 4 weeks. Now, to achieve this goal, there are certain processes that I need to stick to. I'll be breaking these down in some further videos, but they are a weekly calorie goal, which for me is going to be 12,500 calories per week, a daily protein goal, which is going to be 160 grams of protein per day, a daily step goal, which is going to be 12,000 per day, and my training schedule. But this is more for maintaining muscle and working towards performance-based goals. These are the things that I need to focus on day in and day out to move me in the direction that I want to go. It's also the things that my clients check in with me every other day to keep themselves on track. On their own, these actions won't make a difference. If I hit my calories for one day, I won't see a difference. If I hit my protein for one day, I'm not going to see a difference. If I go to the gym, have a really good session, I'll come back and I won't see a difference. But what I want you to understand is that little hinges swing big doors. Over time, these small, almost insignificant actions will stack up to lead to big changes. And this goes for any goal you may have. Now, to achieve my goal of losing 4 kilograms over 4 weeks, that is an average loss of 1 kilogram per week. Quick maths. So what I'll be doing is weighing myself daily as soon as I wake up, and then my coaching app will create an average for each week. My weight is going to fluctuate day to day for so many different reasons. Water weight, carb intake, inflammation from training, even if I've been for a shit. But by looking at the averages for each week, I can get a better idea of whether I'm heading in the right direction. And then if I don't quite hit my goal of 1 kilogram per week, I will adjust the processes. This might mean less calories, more steps, or some other adjustment. But what I need you to realize is we can't directly control these outcomes. I might lose less than a kilogram per week, I might lose more, I just don't know. But we can control what we do each day. We can control the processes. And I think by just focusing on the things that you can control, forgetting about the things that you can't, you can make this whole fitness thing so much more manageable. And then to help me bring all of this together, I use something called my habit scoreboard. It's nothing fancy, but essentially I write down all the different processes and habits that I want to focus on in a notebook. From fitness to business to personal habits, and then even my training schedule and nutrition goals. Then each day, I just tick them off. At the end of the week, I can create a score, and then my goal is to simply improve that score week on week. Mine is pretty complicated, I'm tracking a lot of stuff, but you could keep it very simple. You could focus on those 4 processes that I've already spoke about. But it keeps me focused, it keeps me accountable, and it stops me from relying on motivation. I just look at that scoreboard and I know what I need to do each day. And I know this can seem like a little bit of hassle, but what I want you to realize is what gets measured gets managed, and what gets managed gets improved. And if you're ticking those off consistently, you will make progress. Now, if you're watching this and you're thinking, this all makes sense, but I'd struggle to do it on my own. I've got no idea what calories to aim for, what protein to aim for, and I don't really know where to start in the gym. Well, in that case, you might be interested to know that I do offer a completely free 7-day trial for my online coaching. It's a chance for you to experience what it's like to have structure, a clear plan, and proper support without the guesswork. You can see how it all works and how I can help before making any kind of commitment. During the free trial, I'll set your calorie and protein targets, give you a training plan that fits your goals, abilities, and schedule, and most importantly, give you the accountability to actually stick to it. So if that sounds like something you need right now, just hit the link in the description to find out more, and we can get started this week. But right now, I'm only halfway through the first week, so I'm actually going to skip forwards in time to recap the first week. So all in all, I am pretty happy with week 1. Weight-wise, I'm down 0.9 kilos as an average compared to the week before. And I'm pretty sure this is body fat, it's not water weight, because I was actually dieting a little bit the week prior to get a baseline for where I'm at. So yeah, bang on target with that, so happy with that. Calorie goal was 12,500 over the week, and I ate 12,588. So we're getting happy with that. I'm not going to lose my head to over 88 calories. Training wise, really happy. I only missed 2 sessions over the week. One of them was a core session. I'm not going to say I ran out of time. If I'm honest, I just got a little bit lazy towards the end of an upper session, but I'm going to try and make up for that this week. And the other was my run on Sunday. However, my legs were absolutely battered from trying to do a high rocks and a big uphill run on the Friday. I also had loads of work to catch up with, so you know what, took the rest and I feel a lot better for it. But all in all, really good week, feeling strong. Energy wise, I'll come on to this in a second when I go through like the negatives of the week, but yeah, energy wise I am feeling it. But in terms of getting the sessions done, yeah, pretty happy. But on the flip side, I am hungry, very hungry. I think 90% of my thoughts are about food, and I know I said at the very start that I'm going to be a little bit more hungry, but yeah, it has hit me hard in the first week. However, this is the point of like this video, the fact that I'm only doing it for 4 weeks. I know it's going to be tough, and that is actually what's going to keep me going. Like in the back of my head thinking, you know what, it's only 3 more weeks and then I'm done. That actually makes me more motivated to do it rather than like stringing it out over a much longer period of time. But yes, I need to watch the hunger levels. The hunger levels I can deal with, but it's the energy that might become an issue. Because yeah, my energy levels are pretty flat, especially towards the end of the week. And I can really feel it when I start to do some of my sessions. Not so much the weight stuff, that's not too bad. But when I try and do my runs and do the high rock sessions, yeah, I'm definitely feeling the fatigue from that. So it might be a case of maybe upping the calories a little bit if I am really struggling with that, but we will see. Steps wise, I feel like I smashed it Monday to Friday. I think I did. Here's Tilly talking about steps. This is literally why I'm here now, getting steps in. But yeah, I think I did 32,000 on Friday, and then over the weekend I barely moved. I think I did like 2,000 on Sunday. Um, but yeah, all in all, I'm pretty sure I hit like my weekly step goal, and like I say, Monday to Friday did pretty well. The one thing I am struggling with, and this is the one thing that I feel a lot of people struggle with, is hitting my protein goal. I've only been about 10 grams or so off um, on most days last week. There was a couple of days that I did hit it. However, a lot of this is just going to come down to planning. I've got a plan of action for how I'm going to hit that this week. And then in next week's video, I'm going to be going through exactly how I like break down my nutrition, exactly how I plan it out, the kind of meals that I'm eating. So yeah, the next video in this series is going to be very much nutrition based, so that should help all you guys with that. But yeah, week one done. Happy with the progress so far. Just feeling pretty tired and hungry, but I think that is going to be my life for the next 3 weeks. But yeah, hopefully you found this video helpful. And like I said, the next one is all about nutrition. So yeah, make sure you tune in for that.